Hey guys, my name's Adele Huffman, joined alongside by Joe Pratt and Alex Rocco, our two amazing broadcasters. Alex, what do you think we saw at the last Hyannis game that we can really build on today?
Well, it was a massive victory for the Kettleers, and the bats really came out firing on all cylinders. Brandon Compton, Devin Taylor, the 3-4 in the lineup for the Kettleers that game, blasted their 5th home runs of the season. And Brandon Compton's been on an absolute tear as of late. And when Tanner Thatch, maybe his bat has died down just a little bit over the last few games, Brandon Compton's been there, and a guy in Devin Taylor who's really been amazing. 5 home runs this year, 13 RBIs, and ever since he's came back from Team USA, you've seen the power really start to explode off of his bat. But I also think the big key in that game for Cotuit was working deep in accounts and having good at-bats.
And Joe, do you think there are any specific keys to the game today?
I think getting off to a hot start offensively, because that's what we saw the other night against Hyannis. And then, you go back to last Sunday when the Kettleers played YD right here at Lowell Park. They fell behind early on in that game, and it seems like when they've fallen behind in these games, especially in this month of July, it really has set the tone for the rest of the matchup. So I think a good start in the first 3 or 4 innings should be important, and of course a good start from Taylor C. would help that out.
I definitely agree, Joe. And Alex, now we are first in the West Division. Do you think that adds any pressure, or what do you think we can do with that position now?
Well, I don't think it adds any pressure, and that's something that Mike Roberts has talked a lot about this year, treating each game like it's its own individual game and not putting too much pressure on. But, of course, when the games start to dwindle down, you're getting late into July, of course, there's a lot more meaning to these games. And, of course, being in the top spot in the West Division, it's always a good spot to be in. But I think for Cotuit, if they can come in, game out, continue the way that they've been playing, things will end up just fine.
Yes, and we know Coach sees every game as a fresh start, so looking forward to seeing what we can do with that first position. And, Joe, we can now see the finish line, so how do you think we can keep up the momentum that we have going?
Well, I think it's a good point that you bring up, because this team has hit a rough patch the past couple of Julys when you look back at the last couple of seasons. So, I mean, to have a good finish to this season, and of course you have four games within the division to finish off the summer, and so that's super important just to play for that seeding. I mean, I know Wareham is a game behind the Kettleers, Hyannis now a couple games back from that, and you talk about Falmouth. These are games for Falmouth that are more and more important every single day. I mean, they're fighting for a playoff spot, 5th place in the West Division, trying to claw back on Bourne, who's 4th place, a couple games ahead of them, but they've won 3 games in a row, so both of these teams trying to play for positioning, but more so Falmouth as they're trying to get into playoff contention.
Yes, Joe and Alex, both great points, and hopefully we can see a great game out there today and see maybe some tricky plays, maybe some stolen bases, as Coach Roberts likes to see. But we're going to get started in just a few minutes with our face-to-face against Falmouth here. Thank you to Joe Pratt and Alex Rocco, and we'll see you in just a bit.